Paul, by the grace of God, had a willingness to be steadfast. And I think this is something that we really need to press into. A willingness to be steadfast, relentless in our work, restless and yet ready to re-engage. You know, for Christians, there's no long-term rest this side of heaven. That day will come, but our time is limited, and God is calling us to just be steadfast in our daily pursuit of living for Him. And so by God's grace, we can relentlessly live on mission, rest, be rejuvenated on Sunday, and re-engage on Monday. Like, this is something that we can all do by God's grace. Paul had trials, temptations, all of these things, and yet he's not be like, well, it was really hard, I'm just going to check out for the next 5 years, and then maybe I'll re-engage. No, he is just steadfast in this. This should be encouraging. Tired saints, find hope in the Scripture, as we saw last week. God is true to His promise, God is providing, and God is protecting as He sees fit. And the same grace that was upon Paul then is the same grace that is upon us. He can provide, He can protect, and He can stay true to His promise now, just as He did then, according to His grace. Rest in this. By God's grace, he was determined to preach the full, sufficient, self-humiliating, self-denying cross of Christ. Paul realized his weakness, but had a real reliance on the Spirit's power to press on, to be steadfast by God's grace. Would that be true of us?